There's something of your life that you don't like and you're looking for different ways to fix it. And I've been in the same journey for about 34 years now. And if you arrived in this video, you probably have heard about the possibility that multiple realities are existing at the same time. The good news is that you're not the only person believing or at least suspecting that this may be true. And this is the good news. But the bad news is I cannot teach you how to do that. I can show you the way that I'm doing myself and the results that I'm getting, but I cannot teach you something that you are already doing. The biggest misconception is that some people are so smart or so enlightened to be able to switch their reality and to get to better places. But the thing is, everybody is switching reality anytime, any second, unconsciously. I mean, it doesn't matter if you want to do it or not, this is happening all the time. In this video, I will show you the methods that I use, and I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not a magician, I'm not a guru to follow or an enlightened master to learn something from. Just a regular dude, just like you, living my life and trying to solve a problem. When I don't like my life, I know I have to do something about it. So my name is Meraldo, I'm a tech entrepreneur. I've built a company called Blinku in the last few years. The company raised about 7 million euros from investors. I cannot call it big success, but we are for sure on the path for it. And the concept that I'm going to talk about in this video, it's really helping me to go exactly in that path. I discovered a practical way to somehow step in these different realities. I'm not 100% sure of what I'm doing exactly, but I'm starting to feel the results. And I believe that this can help people. And therefore, I'm here to share it. But before to get there, let's talk about reasons. The reason why I started, it's identical to the reason why you're starting and why you're watching this video right now. And it's problems to solve. You have a problem to solve and you want to solve it as soon as possible. I had problems to solve. I wanted to solve them. And therefore I was looking for solutions. The funny thing is that I've been looking for solutions for 34 years actually, since I was born. And what I'm gonna talk about right now, it's something that I've actually been studying for a long time. There was a very specific shift that happened in my brain at a specific point, which made me start doing the actions that I wasn't doing before that was actually going to make a difference. So my reasons were very simple. I didn't feel fulfilled in general. I wasn't happy about my personal finance. My body had not the shape that I wanted, and I lacked the emotional stability to have a healthy relationship. And I really loved my partner, so I wanted to give her a better relationship. So now I'm almost 35 years old. I could cry because of the 34 years lost, doing what I'm doing right now, or I could be happy of having the opportunity to live maybe 50 or 60 or 70 or 80 years more, understanding this concept and having a better life. Guess which one I would choose? And that's it. This is one of the most important part. So the concept that you can shift from one reality to another one that has a different outcome for you, it's something extremely hard to explain, but it's something that you can feel. It doesn't matter who you are or what you have been doing till today in your life, but if you're still here watching this video, it's because somehow deeply inside yourself, you know it may be true. I'm gonna list a series of moments in which you have probably felt it, in which you have probably felt that you stepped into a different place where people were acting differently to you. Personality flips, for example, a coworker or a friend changing dramatically their personality in a different version of themselves, better or worse. But everyone else don't really realize that changes, and you are maybe the only one. You're looking for something in your home that apparently vanished. The object disappears for a long time, and then at a certain point just appears in a place that you are 100% sure that you were looking before many times, maybe in a very visible place as well. Let's talk about weather. Weather predictions, at least in my world, are never accurate. They're changing all the time. They're supposed to be good actually, right? I mean, there is scientists behind that is predicting this weather. Why the heck? It happened to me to be in places where, from a meteorological point of view, something happened that has never happened before. Or last time that happened, maybe it was written in some historical books hundreds of years before. Another one that's very good. You're running, and at a certain point, you see a very beautiful landscape. And it's supposed to be a long run with that object in front of your eyes. But suddenly, very suddenly, you already overcross it. Boom, vanished, disappeared. Maybe you were not focused. or maybe something happened. And now let's talk about this. That email that you're sure you received or that you sent, and you go look for it and it doesn't exist. And you could say, maybe Outlook, it doesn't work well. That's probably true as well. But that email, you're looking for that. You're still thinking about that and it's not there. It doesn't really exist. How crazy is that? But one of the most common ones is you're just behind the corner close to your home and you see something that you have never seen before. And the funny thing, you ask other people, local people, your friends, your wife, and they're like, it has been here the whole time. You just didn't focus on it. Maybe. Or maybe you just jumped to their timeline. So I promise I will go to my technique and what I'm using to somehow do something that we are already doing every second of our life, but in a more aware way. But first, let's jump to the spiritual part of this. Paradoxically, across different religions, in different places, in different time zones, people that have never met each other, they end up with the same conclusions. The Hindus, for example, say, think high, live high. The mind picks the scene. In the Buddhism of Nichiren Daishonin, which I've been practicing for a few years as well, there is the concept of the 3,000 simultaneous worlds. Each of these worlds is a different version of reality, and by elevating your inner state, you can fine-tune to the worlds that are better for you. In the Gnosticism, instead, they say that the inner knowledge lifts you to another floor of the many that are possible. Possible, like the concept of the quantum many worlds, and this is a more scientific one, which is saying that every quantum possibility forms its own universe, and your observation locks your branch. In the Taoism, instead, it's said that the Tao flows in many rivers, and if you align with the right current, you will land where it's smooth. And then there is the simulation hypothesis. In this theory, it's said that the server can create endless copies, and by working on yourself, you work on the source code, loading different levels of reality. So basically what we're saying here is that if it's true that the multiverse is real, there are different versions of these realities, and they are here and now on every second. These people may be right. We are actually living in a kind of quantum world where all possibilities are actually real at the same time, simultaneously. And if this is true, it is our responsibility to fine-tune with the world that we like most. One of the more important concepts of every mystic philosophy that gives you practical ways of thinking about the world is trying to teach the way of not judgment. Do not judge what you don't like. And this has an extreme correlation with the fact that what you see is actually a reflection of you. And if you don't like it, it's because you probably are in the world that you don't like. So just fine-tune with the world where this is actually happening in a different way. Everything that we see, it has different tones and is reflecting our inner tone. So don't judge it. It's actually just you. I know it's super hard to understand. It's super hard to accept. It's, I would say, extremely unnatural for the way that the society has been built. But if you go very deeply inside yourself, I promise you that you're gonna have insights that this may be real. So now let's get finally practical. What I am doing to go in this direction, to be able to somehow influence where I'm jumping next. So if it's true that by vibe tuning in a different frequency, you just jump in another world, you're probably wondering why you cannot just think about another world and you just get there. Well, that's very simple. There's a layer of consciousness of what we believe is real that is very hard to overcome, extremely hard to overcome. And mostly what we actually perceive as real, it is not what is in our conscious mind. It's mostly what is inside our subconscious mind. 95% of actions that we take are coming from our subconscious. And if you don't work on your subconscious, you will never be able to truly believe in something. And believing in it is the only way to actually see it. So the real question is not how to jump in a new reality, it's how to work on my subconscious and feel, believe the right things. So what I did practically, I wrote a self-hypnosis script. I record my voice, reading it to myself. I use a first part of relaxation in the second person, so I'm speaking to myself like I am somebody else, and I'm telling to myself to relax. The second part instead is made in first person, so with my own voice I am speaking to myself like it's me that is speaking. And being in a very relaxed state, in that moment the subconscious is actually listening. And it's listening what I wrote consciously in my script that I want to be registered in my subconscious. And the third part is again in third person and is the awakening part. I record this script, I add a 7 Hz frequency sound because that really helps to relax as much as possible. More you relax, more you can lower the effect of the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper in psychology is the concept that we have a layer of alertness that doesn't let us believe anything that we have around, and that's very useful. But in a moment in which you're actually doing hypnosis, you need to lower that down to be able to speak to your subconscious and make sure that he's listening. So relaxation, lower down the gatekeeper, say the right words to yourself to believe what is actually convenient you to believe. Get even more practical. What is the benefits that I'm receiving from this? I'm feeling much more strong mentally. I feel I can process my emotions very fast. I'm getting fitter. It's a problem that I had for a few years since I stopped to play football when I was 20. I didn't do really any sport and I wasn't going to the gym. It took really long time then to create the habit to go. And the paradox is that I could do that anytime, but what was blocking me, it was actually my subconscious. And working on that, I told to my subconscious that I have the discipline that is required to do that. I am doing healthy choices on autopilot. When I can choose between alcohol and not alcohol, I'm choosing the alcohol-free. I'm not eating sugars almost at all. If you knew me before, you wouldn't believe this. But the most important part is that I'm here now. And if you have ever tried to record the video and put your face out there, you know what it means, how hard it can be. If you don't, I recommend you to try, and you will feel that you need to do a very big step to decide and act and actually do that. So to give you as much value as possible, I linked this script in the description so you can find it. It's out there, it's for free, you don't need to pay nothing. You can just take it and personalize it and make it good for you. So if you got till here, it's because somehow inside yourself you probably feel that what I'm saying it may be true. Or maybe you are there in the middle believing that the simple act of speaking to your subconscious, it has very powerful effects. And that's probably true. And this is what I did for a long time. It didn't start in this way, actually. I was just speaking to my subconscious, telling to me right suggestions. But at a certain point, I started to feel more and more synchronicity in things. And to see things that didn't make 100% sense, unless the concept that I'm explaining here in this video is actually true. And the funny thing is that I'm not the only person talking about that. I'm not talking about ancient spiritual stuff or new age gurus selling books or whatever. I'm talking about normal people here on YouTube as well, sharing their experience and explaining that, oh my God, that may be possible. I'm gonna link a couple of profiles in the description so you can have a look at their videos, because I'm personally learning a lot from that and I believe you can too. I hope this video was useful, not to give you great teachings, but just to show you that a regular person just like me can internalize and actually utilize such a complex concept and make it useful in the daily life. If I'm doing that, you can do it too. If you like this video, please hit subscribe and the like button as well, because this is gonna help to spread this video and make sure that other people that may need it will see it when they need it. See you in the next one, maybe in another reality.